Ladies and gentlemen, Concordia Conservatory presents Pageant.
Steve, my favorite time of year. Auditions for the St. Genesius pageant.
I don't know, Nancy. It's the same thing year after year. And I hear there's trouble brewing at St. Genesius.
I feel so jolly. It's time to put rehearsals in my daily plan.
That may be folly. We're gonna get stuck with the same old story again.
For we need a better pageant. Parishioners are wailing. Need a better pageant. Think this year I'm bailing. Yes, we need a better pageant. Our little church is failing. We're having trouble with defending a show where we all know the ending. Same titled story.
Can't they write a show with something really new?
There is no glory.
Can someone tell me why babe owns frankincense now?
For we need a better pageant, or no one will show up. Need a better pageant, or the show will blow up. Yes, we need a better pageant. So when the curtain goes up, we'll have a better pageant now. Have a better pageant now.
Well, that's the story for now. Our Sunday attendance is 36% below where we were last year at this time, and the weekly collections are down about 40%.
That's pretty dismal, Reverend. As head of the church board, I can tell you that donations outside of Sunday collection are down as well. Our reserves are dwindling, and soon we won't be able to pay our bills. The last thing I want to see happen is for us to have to close our doors.
That would be awful. No more church suppers, no more auxiliary lunches, no more pancake breakfasts, no more...
The way you're talking, we should rename this place St. Applebee's. There's more to the church than food, Nancy.
I know. It's just my favorite part. And as the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, go, eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart.
Yeah, and as the Bible says in Proverbs, put a knife to your throat if you're given to appetite.
That's why I never read Proverbs.
This isn't helpful, guys. We've got a real problem here.
Which is why we called you all here. Now, as the head of the St. Genesius Church Pageant Committee, I feel we have an opportunity here to use the pageant as a way to boost our audience and get some more money in the collection plate.
I'm not sure that a new pageant is the best idea, but I'm willing to try anything at this point.
What do you mean, new pageant? I mean, doesn't everyone love the one we already have? Besides, my daughter's portrayal of the camel every year makes my family's holidays. She was really looking forward to adding a second hump this year.
Tina, one hump was tough enough, but if I'm handling costumes again, I can't do two humps. It's physically impossible.
Who cares about the humps? My kid is always the donkey. I'm tired of him playing the jackass. He's already like that at home.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Now, I've been the technical director of the pageant for the past 10 years, and while it can maybe use a little freshening up, I'm a big believer in the importance of tradition to keep the people we have engaged.
That's the problem, Bill. The pageant isn't necessarily keeping people engaged. You and Alice have been doing the same old thing every single year.
Well, excuse me, Robert, but the nativity story is the same every year, and I haven't heard any complaints about that.
You know, this Jesus in the manger with the wise men routine is getting really boring. There must be a better Christmas story than that.
Really?
I'm not saying we need to change the liturgy, Reverend, but the pageant is a show. What's wrong with jazzing it up a little? I mean, look at what they do to Radio City every year. And that show attracts millions.
Do you think we get the Rockettes?
Maybe if we got a special holiday buffet to go with the pageant.
Only you would try to turn the pageant into a dinner theater, Nancy.
Hold on, everyone. I've been directing the pageant for many years now. Maybe it has been getting a little tired. If you all think that I should step aside for someone else, I completely understand. But remember, this is an event that many look forward to every year.
Well then, Bob, what exactly do you have in mind?
Well, said the pageant head to the loyal crew. Do you see what I see? What a show we could mount this year. Do you see what I see?
We don't see what you see.
A wondrous night with beauty to behold. That is far from our stagnant old mold.
That is far from our stagnant old mold. Said the loyal crew to the pageant head. You don't know what we know. Everyone loves the show we've got. You don't know what we know.
I don't know what you know. Our pageant sold, our audience is told, and the church might have to be sold.
No, the church can never be sold.
Said the pageant head to the doubting crew. Let us be creative. Get someone who can lead the way. Let us be creative.
I think I'm creative.
A new approach that's modern and as flair will create a pageant that's rare.
May create a pageant that's rare. Said the crew to the pageant head so bold. It's a wondrous story.
I love the story. I will keep faithful to the tale. You know I love the story.
He does love the story.
But follow me, I promise it will be just the cure we need it to be. And our church will then be debt free.
Church debt free.
You know, I didn't hear one mention of a meal, not one single scrap of food.
Forget about eating for once, Nancy. I don't know, Bob. This might be risky.
Why would you even consider commercializing the pageant?
It's 2015. We need to bring this thing into the 21st century already. I mean, if I hear one more Hark the Herald, angels sing, I am going to hurl.
Robert? Well, I'm going to be frank with all of you. We have to do something, and we have to do something pretty drastic. St. Genesius has been in this community for 130 years, and it's not going to close on my watch. At this point, I don't really care what you do, but if we don't increase our Sunday attendance by the end of the month, the church is going to vote some major changes, and that change will begin with you. Fight it out, come to some agreement, and let me know of your decision.
Someone got out of the wrong side of bed this morning.
No, she's right. We have to do something. I just don't know if Bob's direction is the way to go.
I second that.
I third that.
You can't third anything.
Sorry, guys, but I really think we need to take some action here. How about this? Why doesn't Bob go out and talk to another potential director to see if he can get some new ideas going? Then, if he thinks that will work, let's try that. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that we go with Reuben again this year.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, you know what I mean.
No, I don't. She means, we love you, Reuben, but maybe we need to make a temporary change. If that's what you all want, then so be it.
All right, Well, then let's take a vote. All those in favor of me finding new directors and new ideas, raise your hand. All those opposed?
I abstain.
That's 6-4. So I'll go and see what I can find.
I'm worried about this.
Hey, the diner's still open. Why don't we all go for a late night snack?
Don't you want a room in the back of the diner?
Very funny.
Well, I could go for some pie and coffee.
Hey, Sally, if you want to eat any of your pie, make sure you don't sit next to Nancy.
Ignore him, Nancy.
Everybody does, Jackie.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Alice, as it is written in Proverbs, many are the plans of the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that should stand.
Something tells me his purpose will really be tested.
I think we're all going to regret the decision we made here tonight. It's a bleak decision. What we have is good.
Reuben is our shepherd, leading as he should.
They want something different. They may get their wish, but different isn't better. Just another niche.
We must still support them. I will take that vow.
But a flashy pageant's not the answer now.
We must all be loyal and give up control. I have a funny feeling this will test our soul. This will test our soul.
Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the loveliest, most talented, most undervalued in the land?
Misty, when are you going to tell us who gets the solos for the dance recital?
My mom says you told her I was the best.
The best at what?
Excuse me, you're looking at the White Swan, right, Misty?
Well, as the only boy in the class, I know I'll be the prince.
You're lucky you're the only boy. Otherwise, with the way you dance, you'd probably be a tree or something.
Misty, she's always putting me down. She's not a good colleague.
Colleague? Are you mad? Do you even know what a colleague is? Can any of you even spell it? I am Arlene DeFarco. I danced with every major company in the country. I was a star. My greatest triumph, my role as the golden calf in Moses Throws a Fit. It was stunning.
Yeah, I think you've told us that story maybe 100 times.
And now I'm reduced to teaching untalented monsters the art of the terpsichore in this two-bit town. How did this happen? How have I sunk so low? When did I become such a failure?
How can you consider yourself a failure when you're married to me? I am Brooks DeFarco, one of the greatest choreographers of all time.
Choreographer? Are you kidding? You were in the chorus when I plucked you out of the back line to play the burning bush in Paul, This Is God Speaking. I made you.
Oh, really, darling? How you rewrite history. It was I that made you with my brilliant staging of Pretty Little Liars, the musical.
Oh, I was good in that. I killed 30 of my best friends while tap dancing.
Are we gonna have a class today, or is this gonna be another one of those instructive walks down memory lane?
He's right, darling. We have a lot to do before the recital.
Oh, forget that, darling. Robert Blabbington is coming by any minute. Bob is the head of the St. Genesius Pageant Committee, and he's thinking of hiring us to direct their pageant this year.
Are you kidding? I'm in that every year. Reuben Sage is the director. He's a nice man.
Well, he may be nice, but according to Mr. Blabbington, the pageants have been boring.
I played a shepherd last year. It was fun.
Ugh, shepherds, donkeys, sheep, camels. Those things are also Middle East.
That's because Jesus was born in the Middle East, Nazareth, to be specific.
Wrong. He was born in Bethlehem. He grew up in Nazareth.
Enough. Anyway, we're going to show Mr. Blabbington just what we can do so we can get the pageant job. This could really drive business at this dance studio. Just think, I can see it now. DeFarco redefines Christmas.
Why change it? Everybody likes it.
I don't know, Rachel, but according to Bob, the audiences have gotten smaller every year.
Well, the smell of all that animal poop would certainly keep me away.
We don't use real animals, just kids dressing up like them.
You mean the kids poop on stage? Disgusting.
No one poops, I'm sure.
So, what are we performing for Mr. Blabbington?
A redo of It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year number from last year's holiday recital. The lyrics are in the back. Arlene, teach them the new lyrics while I wait here for Bob Blabbington.
Oh, that's what those were? You know, wasn't this a little, old-fashioned?
Well, we don't want to scare him. We'll just take one step at a time to bring him into our glorious style of modern insanity.
Oh, Brooks, dear, there's nothing modern about your insanity. And I saw that you gave yourself more solo lines than me. How gallant of you.
Just didn't want to burden you, my dear. Now why don't you all go practice until I call for you. Finally, a chance to distinguish myself as a brilliant contemporary choreographer and director. And it's just the beginning. If this works out, I could maybe even direct the holiday community musical at Concordia Conservatory. Who am I kidding? I'll never be that good.
Hello, Brooks. Ooh, nice studio you've got here.
Thank you, Bob. Arlene and I were so pleased to be able to bring a sense of contemporary culture to town.
Well, that's why I'm here. The pageant voted for me last night to go and find some new directors to try and shake up our holiday pageant. Now, I'd be less than honest with you if I didn't tell you that the argument was somewhat heated and there is some concern about the direction which the pageant is taking. But I am sure that you and Arlene are professionals who will make something that no one could ever forget.
That's exactly the idea.
So, what are you going to show me today?
Well, Arlene is working in the back as we speak on a number that we're sure will show you just how perfect we are for the pageant job. Take a seat, Bob, and I'll have Arlene bring in the company. Arlene, kids, are you ready? Bob, you're going to love this.
Misty, how come you and Brooks always get the biggest parts in our dances?
That's because we have talent, dear.
Arlene, this is Bob Blabbington.
Oh, my pleasure, Mr. Blabbington. I was a major dancer in my day. Perhaps you've seen my memorable role as Kim Kardashian in How to Be Famous for No Reason.
Oh, sadly, I missed that one, Miss DeFarco.
Oh, please, call me Arlene.
Oh, please, call me washed up.
Anyway, take a seat, Bob. As you know, we have a unique and fresh approach, and we feel that we could take that lovely but tired church presentation and make it into something truly wonderful. To show you what we can do, here's a little something we've put together called It's the Most Wonderful Pageant of All. Hit it, John.
It's the most wonderful pageant of all.
When the shepherds are dancing and wise men are prancing and having a ball. It's the most wonderful pageant of all.
It's the
can sing.
For when out in the manger, there's nothing that's stranger. A baby is king. It's the most wonderful tale we can sing.
There's Joseph and Mary and Romans contrary.
And what about angels galore? The stars shone above us, the crowd's gonna love us, the baby we all will adore. It's the most wonderful show of the year.
We all hope you will choose us, for it will amuse us,
And crowds will all cheer for the most wonderful show of the year.
we're the most
Wonderful dancers of all.
We are all dedicated to make you elated.
So give us the call for the most wonderful pageant of all.
That was brilliant.
I thought you'd like it.
Actually, it was my idea.
I thought you said it was old-fashioned.
Liza, dear, did you forget to take your Ritalin today? Oh, Mr. Blabbington, I hope you'll think well enough of us to give us the job.
If this is anything like what she'll do for the pageant, I'm sure it will be a smash hit. Of course, what am I saying? You guys have got the job! Well, I've got to report back to the head of the church board, but we'll keep in touch regarding the details. Welcome aboard, DeFarcos!
Finally, a new project.
This could be the break I've been waiting for. Come, children, we have to rehearse the recital.
Can there be twin swans? Yeah, 2 for the price of 1.
Ugh, I'm seeing double again. I've got to cut down on those Red Bull martinis.
Well, this could be interesting.
Well, at first I was happy that they got the job, but now that I think about it, I'm not so sure.
What do you mean?
I hear you, Nikki. You know how the pageant's all about community. It may be kind of silly and a little tired, but it is tradition.
Yeah, and knowing Brooks and Arlene, they might turn it into something like Jesus on Mars.
That sounds cool.
Or not. Hey, do you guys know Charlie and Stephanie Thompson?
Their father builds the sets for the pageant, and their mother does costumes.
Hey, I know them. Charlie's on the soccer team, and Stephanie plays volleyball. What about them? Well, they know everything that's going on at St. Genesius. I think it's time for a meeting. After all, we are the real talent around here.
This sounds like fun. I'll go tell Brooks and Arlene.
Are you crazy? We've got to keep this on the DL.
It's the most wonderful pageant of all.
Well, I just wanted you all to know the church board has made it official. If we do not have a 25% increase in attendance by Christmas, they'll be opening a search for a new pastor. Bob seems to think a new pageant is the only sure way to accomplish this. So he has hired Brooks and Arlene DeFarco to direct and stage the pageant this year. Reuben, I know this must be hard for you.
Reverend, after our last meeting, this doesn't come as a surprise.
Well, I think it stinks. They have their own production people as well. Now, while I think Alice and I might enjoy a year off, as parishioners, I am concerned about what they plan to do.
They haven't approached me about costumes. Something tells me they're gonna redo the entire thing from top to bottom.
Does that mean we probably won't be in the pageant this year?
I wouldn't count on it, dear. The DeFarcos have all the students in their dance school.
But what about us? Can't we try out?
Well, according to Preston, the agreement they have made with Bob is that they can cast whomever they'd like this year. I think they think a fresh start will make things more exciting.
This is still a parish activity. We should be able to participate if we want to.
Was I a bad Joseph last year? I mean, he doesn't really do anything but kneel there and look out of it. Why is that? Why is Joseph always like the third wheel every single year?
Think about it, Arnold.
How would you feel if your wife was giving birth to the Son of God?
You do have a point, but think of the benefits.
Like what? The child gets to go to heaven on the weekends?
Reverend!
Apologies. We ministers love nativity jokes.
Well, I don't expect to play Mary this year, but I want to do something.
Maybe you could be the camel this year.
Oh, no. That's my kid's role. Remember? 2 humps, Alice. 2 humps.
Give it up, Tina. Knowing the DeFarcos, the only animal in this pageant will be Arlene's Chihuahua Consuelo.
Sorry. How could you compare my daughter's brilliant portrayal of a camel to that little Mexican dog?
I hate to change the subject here, but can we please get back to the problem at hand?
I agree with Reuben. I mean, there's not much we can do at this point, and I need to support this project.
Excuse me, Reverend, but Mr. DeFarco is here to see you.
Tell him to go away.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Bill, send him in.
Yes, Reverend.
Maybe Brooks wants all of us to be in the pageant.
You're as clueless as Joseph, Arnold.
Reverend Tucker, so glad you could see me. And look, all the people I wanted to see are all gathered here today. Reuben Sage, former director, Bill and Alice Thompson, former tech director and former costumer, Tina Treble, former music director, Dora Diva, former Mary, Arnold Baker, former Joseph, and Charlie and Stephanie Thompson, former tech director and former costumers, precocious children.
What can I do for you, Mr. DeFarco?
Oh, please, call me Brooks. No one has called me Mr. DeFarco since I played the role of Maria in The Sound of Music.
What?
It was an all-male cast.
Even the nuns?
Oh, yes. The fellow who played Mother Superior weighed over 300 pounds. It gave a whole new meaning to the song, Climb Every Mountain. But I digress. Anyway, Reverend, I came here today to tell you that while the key roles and positions for the pageant will be selected from our school's student body and staff, we'd like to invite all of the previous year's participants to be involved.
What would we do?
Mr. Baker will need all sorts of help with getting the kids in and out of their costumes, bringing food for late rehearsal, keeping the backstage area clean, and this year we'll be offering concessions, selling DeFarco brand dance clothing at before and after. And we'll need help with that. It's a great source of revenue, Reverend, and we only take 50% of the profits. Quite a deal, don't you think?
What?
I know, Alice. Arlene and I are too generous for words, but we believe in giving back to the community.
Brooks, what exactly is your concept for the pageant?
No giving away any professional secrets. All I can tell you is that it's going to be great.
Can Charlie and I be in the pageant?
Of course you can. We'll need all sorts of trees and shrubs.
I don't want to be a shrub.
There are no small parts, only small actors, Charlie.
I use that line all the time. Don't believe him. There are a ton of small parts.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you'll be so inclusive, Brooks. I'm sure you and Arlene will produce something that will go down in the history of St. Genesius.
Oh, and it's just the beginning. After the success of this pageant, we'll have an Easter pageant. rise and shine with dancing eggs and flying jelly beans. Stick with me, Reverend, and you'll have parishioners lining up the door to get in.
Yeah, to see the greatest disaster since the sinking of the Titanic.
You know, Brooks, since the pageant is still a parish community project, you may want to think about having a meeting with anyone who is interested in participating. Get the word out, create excitement, generate goodwill, and you may get more volunteers. All this secrecy could get us into difficulty.
I have an idea. Brooks, why don't you prepare one of the big numbers you're working on for the pageant and present it at a community meeting? That will surely bring people in and get people all excited.
An excellent suggestion, Alice. What do you think, Brooks?
Well, the problem with that is it's getting near to the actual pageant. By the time we have a big number ready, it'll be the pageant date and...
No big deal, Brooks. We're just trying to get the regulars involved, even if it's at the last minute.
I like it. Let's do it. It'll be a preview party. What fun. Reverend, Arlene will arrange all the details with your office. And, well, it'll be a preview party, which will be fun.
Can we be there?
Oh, I would insist that you and Stephanie be there. Bring your friends as well.
Remember, Brooks, if I can be of any assistance.
Reuben, just having you in the audience will be all the help we'll ever need. Folks, I haven't been this excited since Arlene and I played Adam and Eve in. That was some apple. It was exhausting, but fun. Bye, all.
Alice, why did you suggest that?
I don't know. I was just trying to find a way to get more people involved.
Well, I, for one, will be eager to see what Brooks comes up with. And if everyone else likes it.
Is that why you want us to be there, Dad?
I just think that everybody who has a stake in the pageant should be there, Steph.
Well, it seems to me that what Mr. DeFarco doesn't understand is that it's less about the actual performance and more about the fun we have putting it on. You know, hanging out with all our friends, working with all the parents, even you, Mom and Dad.
Charlie, you're so right. At Christmas time, or any time, it's all about doing things together. It's relationships. When we all work together, I count on you to agree.
It's the fun we share because we care, brings joy both to you and to me.
It's relationships. When we all work together, we sometimes fight. Then we see that at Christmas we can help each other be better just because
We're like Santa Claus, bringing magic when we build a show.
Pageants come and go, but our friendships will stay. For no matter what days will bring,
we will always have each other, even though
We may have to go and just watch the show.
and we'll love just sitting next to you.
You know what? I don't care what the DeFarcos come up with. It just makes me feel good to know that we have each other.
meeting adjourned, Reverend?
I think that's all for now. I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything.
Hey, Steph, I just got a text from Harry and Rachel. They want to meet us now. They say it's important.
What about?
I don't know, but they're both in the DeFarco's dance class. Let's go.
I still don't know why we're here.
Really, Liza, you're so, clueless.
Okay, genius, clue me in, please.
As far as the pageant is concerned, we're in, and people like Charlie and Stephanie are out. And it's weird. Of all things, shouldn't we all be working on this thing together?
Well, the church put the DeFarcos in charge. What can we do?
I have no idea, but maybe Charlie and Stephanie can help us figure this out.
Oh, they're here.
Hey, guys. What's up?
That's what we were just gonna ask you. What do you know about this whole pageant thing?
Well, you're in and we're out, unless we want to be shrubs.
What are you talking about?
We just came from a meeting at the church where Brooks told us that if we wanted to be in the pageant, we had to be trees or bushes.
Well, that's pretty obnoxious.
I don't know, Charlie. I think you'd make a great bush.
Oh, shut it.
What exactly are you guys going to be doing in the pageant?
We don't know. But knowing Brooks and Arlene, it's sure to be crazy. And having done the pageant before, I don't know if it's gonna accomplish what it's supposed to.
Well, what it's accomplishing is dividing everyone.
Yeah, my parents are kind of sad about the whole thing.
But the DeFarcos are right about one thing. The pageant does need some sprucing up. It is tradition, but it is getting kind of tired.
And there were shepherds abiding the fields, watching over their flocks.
Oh, Joseph, there's no room for us in the inn.
And for unto you is born this day a Savior.
You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. Let us now go even unto Bethlehem and see this thing which has come to pass.
And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for everything they had heard and seen, and it was told unto them. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace.
You know, it's an old story, and maybe the way that we've told it has become tired, but it's still a great story.
But it's not the only story.
What do you mean?
She means we're not the only game in town. What about other religions that celebrate this time of year?
We could bring in different people and share their stories too.
This could be so cool.
We all love the Christmas story. Angels floating overhead, shepherds gathering at the manger when they should have been in bed.
Camels, sheep, and even donkeys, they all share the joyful birth.
And the kings with gifts are bringing, giving everything they're worth.
But there's so much more to tell.
And you know we'll do that well.
What do we all bring? We can tell the stories that sing. There is so much more than Christmas at this festive time of year. St. Genesius needs much more. That fact now is really clear. Yes, the pageant's sweet and lovely, but more people need to come.
So we'll tell a lot more stories, more than just a single one. Several other faiths can shine.
I am Jewish, include mine.
Many bells will ring. We can tell the stories that sing. From every corner, folks will join our happy band, and they can share their customs, dancing hand in hand. We will have a giant chorus. Crowds will be clapping for us, filled to overflowing that we really need, and the town's all together again.
Can build a show this Christmas, make us all feel good inside.
Other folks will see our pageant and we'll let them know with pride.
We had so much more to tell, and you know we'll do that well.
What did we all bring?
We all told the stories that sing. We all told the stories that sing. Baby, we all told the stories that sing. Baby, we all told the stories that sing.
Well, I think it's time to get started. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We've had many meetings during my time as a member of St. Genesius when our church was growing and going through change. Tonight, we get a preview of a program that is going to significantly change our holiday program. Once you have seen this preview, I am sure that you will be lining up to get involved. I am very excited to introduce the couple who are steering our new holiday pageant, Brooks and Arlene DeFarco.
Thank you, Bob, for that charming introduction. And Reverend Tucker for hosting this wonderful community meeting. I'm so glad you're all gathered here today to get a preview of what we have planned for the new pageant this year. And after we're done, we welcome you all to participate. We have many meaningful ways for you to join us. But before we begin, let's give Nancy a round of applause for those magnificent holiday refreshments.
Brooks and I are so proud of our work, and I do believe we've outdone ourselves with this sweet show. Reuben Sage has laid a lovely foundation with his work over the years, but now it's time to turn the page and move into a new and glorious era of holiday entertainment, inspired by that wondrous story that happened over 2,000 years ago. Without further ado, let's begin. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up from the city of Galilee, out of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, because there was no room for them at the inn. In the heart of little Bethlehem, there was a mom and dad. She was ready to give birth that night, a room not to be had. A local stranger lent his manger, so the angels told the locals, "Go, you'll find your Savior there." Come and see those sandaled feet as we tap our way to Bethlehem. Jesus Christ is born, though the birth is not discreet. He's the babe who's now the star of the show. Jesus Christ is born. Joseph, Mary, they were wary, didn't have a clue. But the Magi, they said, "Don't cry, we've got swag for you." So don't be shy and glorify. He's the newborn king you'll hear a lot of. Jesus Christ is born. Don't be shy and glorify. He's a newborn king you'll hear a lot of. Jesus, 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 Jesus Christ is born.
Bravo, bravo. That was amazing, absolutely brilliant.
Are you crazy? That was ridiculous.
Well, it was very energetic.
Yeah, so was the fall of the Roman Empire.
It sure was different.
This is going to bring people to St. Genesius.
Can't we salvage this somehow?
Not even one of Nancy's buffets could save this one.
For once, I agree with you, Steve.
You tap? I can barely walk properly. Remember, Joseph doesn't do much in these things.
Now, wait a minute, everybody. All new things take time to understand. Let's keep an open mind here. I think what Brooks and Arlene have given us is something new, different, and fresh.
New and different, yes. Fresh, no. Bob, I think your heart's in the right place, but your brain has taken a bad detour. This thing is idiotic. Hey, the kids did a fine job, but it's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
Disrespectful? Are you mad? I was the original Mary Magdalene in That Bad Girl from Nazareth.
You were fired from that production.
Well, they were morons.
Can we stick to the subject here? You're right, Reverend. So let me make myself clear. This pageant is hereby canceled. Finished. Done. I will not have this represent St. Genesius. I'd rather see us closed.
Preston, I think you're being a bit too hasty here.
Brooks, you and Arlene should be ashamed of yourselves.
Pearls before swine, Brooks. Pearls before swine.
Come on, Arlene, let's go. Kids, we're out of here.
Stop, everyone. Eddie's right, and we've got a better idea.
I hope it involves food.
What do you mean, Rachel?
She means we have a way to make this thing great.
Better than Jesus Christ is born?
Oh, impossible.
Uh-oh. This is like a Disney Channel show. Is this the part where the kids get together, save the day, and show the adults how dumb they are?
Sorry, Dad.
So tell us already.
It's relationships. When we all work together, I count on you to agree. It's a fun we share because we care. Brings joy both to you and to me.
Well, you're right about that. It is all about community. And Preston, if we went direct to the community about our financial difficulty, I think they'd help us figure out a way to keep things going. Pageant aside?
You're right. And we'd be glad to help.
I'm in too. You know, we still haven't heard the kids' idea yet, and the clock resolution is long overdue, I must say.
We know what we saw was depressing. The lyrics were not, the staging was dumb.
But we have a way of addressing the problem that's here. So give a big cheer.
We'll change it to make it inclusive and say it quite clear.
We'll have a new pageant for Christmas this year.
That's it. So Christians and Jews all together. We'll put Kwanzaa in, and Muslims will win.
The whole town will be so excited.
So many involved, our problem is solved.
And soon we will fill St. Genesius from far and from near. We'll have a new pageant for Christmas this year.
We'll build new relations. We'll build new traditions.
And before it's all over, we will get big donations.
So let's work together. Ruben, Arlene, and Brooks. You'll be inventive, you have the incentive, and we'll all be in this. Can't wait to begin this. So we'll all move forward together. We have enough time to make the show shine, regardless of egos or weather.
The spirit is here. Our message is clear.
United we'll save St. Genesius. The whole town will hear. We'll have a new pageant for Christmas. We'll have a new pageant for Christmas. We'll have
Brooks, Arlene, what do you think?
We have 2 weeks. Let's do it.
But what will my part be?
The insane choreographer.
Well, we all know I can do that perfectly.
Tomorrow's Saturday, 9 a.m., the next rehearsal.
Okay, so 2 weeks. You think we can pull this off?
Actually, I think it's exciting. Although they're crazy, Brooks and Arlene are quite talented. We just need to be aimed in the right direction. We can invigorate this whole thing.
We don't have much time to build new sets.
Costumes.
Don't you get it? It's not about new sets or costumes.
It's about being inclusive, so it's a few props, that's all.
Stephanie is right. I'll meet with Brooks and Arlene tonight and we'll create a plan. Why don't we meet tomorrow and figure out all the things we'll need? And Charlie and Stephanie, don't worry, you won't be a tree.
All right, hands in, everybody. 1, 2, 3,
Pageant!
The 3 kings went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace." Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
That beautiful story, passed down from generation to generation, was said to have taken place over 2,000 years ago.
And since then, many religions come together at this time of the year to celebrate family, community, and faith.
The 8-day Jewish celebration known as Hanukkah commemorates the rededication during the Second Temple in Jerusalem, where according to legend, Jews had risen up against their Greek-Syrian oppressors led by Judah Maccabee. When the temple was rebuilt, there was only enough oil to light the eternal lamp for 1 day, and it would take 8 days to bring the journey to bring back more oil. According to the legend, the 1-day ration of oil lasted for 8 days, and that is a symbolic miracle celebrated today. Hanukkah, the festival of light. Rock of ages, let our song praise thy saving power. It's the raging foes, sheltering tower. It's the message cheering, and the time is nearing, which will see all men free, tyrants disappearing, which will see all men free, tyrants disappearing.
Kwanzaa is a week-long celebration honoring African heritage culminating in a feast and gift-giving. The name Kwanzaa comes from the Swahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa, meaning first fruits of the harvest. The 7 principles, one for each day, are unity, self-determination, responsibility, cooperation, purpose, creativity, and faith. The symbols include corn, the 7 candle holder, the kinara, the communal cup, and the red, black, and green flag.
Kwanzaa,
Ramadan is observed by Muslims worldwide as a commemoration to the first revelation of the Quran to Muhammad according to Islamic belief. This annual observance is regarded as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. While fasting from dawn until sunset, Muslims refrain from eating foods and drinking liquids. Food and drink is served daily, before dawn and after sunset. Spiritual rewards for fasting are believed to be multiplied within the month of Ramadan.
I have a friend, his name is Omar. His family celebrates Ramadan. The 9th month of the lunar year, his family celebrates Ramadan. Ramadan, Ramadan, his family celebrates Ramadan. On the first day of the month that follows Ramadan, his family invites us to the feast that they put on, celebrating Ramadan, Ramadan. His family celebrates Ramadan. Ramadan, Ramadan. His family celebrates Ramadan.
We are proud to live in a country with so many different types of cultures and celebrations, and what brings us together is family.
So however we celebrate at this magical time of year, and whatever our beliefs may be, we sing together as one community.
Placed in the skies by one God. Millions of us lift up our eyes to one God. So many children calling to Him by many a different name. One Father, loving each the same. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their ways to one God. Brothers and sisters, there are no strangers after His work is done. For your God and my God are one. Many children calling to Him by many a different name. One Father, loving each the same. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their ways to one God. Brothers and sisters, there are no strangers after His work is done. For your God and my God
Amazing job, everyone. Congratulations.
You guys were incredible.
I'm so proud of all of you.
I have to admit, it really worked.
That was even better than my performance as Noah's wife in He Was the Real Adam.
I love that show.
Thank God I didn't have to tap dance.
I think we can all agree on that.
Reverend Tucker, I'm Flash Johnson from News 12. Whose idea was it to have an interfaith pageant?
Well, to tell you the truth, it was the children here. They came up with the whole thing.
Well, my editor thinks this thing has legs. We'd like to broadcast a live performance on Christmas Eve, reaching thousands of homes. This is going to put St. Genesius on the map.
Finally, my work on television.
Maybe I could finally get a guest appearance on Austin and Alley.
This is amazing. Reverend Tucker, congratulations. I'm sure the church board is going to agree with me that we'd like you to be our pastor for many years to come. And I'm going to nominate you for the Regional Leadership Clergy Board.
Well, Preston, it's all about community. Reuben, Bill, Alice, their children, Tina, and all the adults and children.
And my buffets. Especially your buffets, Nancy.
Did you make the deviled eggs I just had from over there? Those were amazing. My secret recipe. Maybe we can get you a cooking show. A cooking show on Channel 12? My dream come true.
Well, I think this is a dream come true for all of us.
And just think, we did it all together. This is gonna be the best Christmas ever!
And Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Ramadan.
Just wait until next year.
Concordia Conservatory Holiday Musical, look out!
Yes, you had a better pageant. You were a sensation.
Had a better pageant, much to our relation. Yes, you had a better pageant, best in all creation. Had a better pageant now.
We'd now like you to join us in singing We Wish You a Merry Christmas.